Share my screen. Today we're going to talk about capturing more leads. Who wants to capture more freaking leads, man? Come on now. All right. Is that what we're about? So, presentation. Can everyone see the slides? Is that a yes?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
It says capture more leads on it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Wow. Hey, everyone. Long time I've talked to a lot of you, so I appreciate you guys being here. We're going to talk about lead generation, generate leads, grow your data, capture more leads, and we're on the bottom here, capture more leads. So you should have talked about open houses and social media. So we're going to talk about that. Here's our today's agenda: work systems at work, processing, marketing, gold mine for referrals, more success, capture every lead. This will be first. You love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them. How many of you are having a hard time hunting for people? Who is doing their contacts? No one. You should know Ignite. We tell you to do your 10 contacts, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, systems at work here. Your number one job is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. As you know, in this business and you're learning, it's not about knowing the contract. It's not about knowing all the other things that stop you from success in real estate. It's about finding ways to get in front of motivated buyers and sellers. And right now, that's harder to do because of the market and interest rates, but you'll need to, your focus should be on that. And I can tell you, my team and my real estate and the top real estate teams in our office anywhere are focused on ways to get in front of buyers and sellers, lead gen or lead follow, as opposed to worrying about how they do worry about their customer service and their contract and how they service clients. Don't get me wrong, they do that. But they are greatly concerned about how do we find more people, more buyers and sellers. And they all do it different ways. They do it door knocking, cold calling, open houses, love your people, networking, all different ways. And there's no wrong way to do it. But what you need to understand is if you want high success in real estate, the number one thing you have to do is methodically get in front of people that potentially want to buy or sell. And the only way you know how to do that is talk to a number of people. And the better you are at that, the more success you're going to have. So, 2 ways to lead generation: message and method. So, as I said, there's always a message you have to have, and then there's a way you want to do it. Now, some people want to do it different ways, and we can talk about that. There's match your market, make an offer. So there's talk about your market, what they're looking for, and then make an offer, get them to come to you directly. Then there's the method, which is prospecting is a cheap way, which we recommend you do initially, prospecting. And then there's more expensive ways of marketing where you're putting money out there, advertising, marketing to get people to come to you. Now, you want to get to a point in your business in the future where you have sales enough to market to get people to come to you. It makes your life and career a little easier. But initially, you're going to want to stay in the prospecting market because I've seen a lot of people try, especially new agents, try to get marketing right away and spend money. It's going to way you're going to get to, how should I say this? It's going to make you go bankrupt pretty quickly. And the reason is this: anytime you're marketing with a message, it's going to bring back leads with those message. And if you're not skilled in how to handle those conversations, then I don't care how many leads you generate, it's not going to produce enough, right? So what happens when you prospect a lot at the beginning of your career, you're going to learn how to talk to people at a high level. So when you start marketing, it's easy for you to convert those leads that are coming in. If you try to just market to get all those leads and you're not skilled at talking to people, it's not going to matter. Your results are going to be too low. So, any questions on this part so far? We're very at a high level right now,
So what were you saying, John? You're saying like don't spend a lot of money out the gate as far as with promoting yourself?
I wouldn't. I would keep, you can do some money, but I would keep it low. Like even when you joined our office, we talked about OpCity and Realtor.com and doing those leads. You notice those are after close payments, right? You can go to Realtor.com and pay them up front for those leads, but you pay monthly for those leads. And we find that most people get in a lot of trouble when they do that. So because unless you have another job, then you're willing to spend that money to fund it at a high level. You mean take income from your other personal side and fund it, then I would recommend you just stick with prospecting and learn how to prospect well. The part about prospecting is you're going to learn how to talk to people at a high level. That means they're not coming to you, you're learning to go to them. And so those conversations are generally harder because you're having to convince someone you're meeting, right? It's a little easier when you convert someone who's coming to you because they're coming to you for a particular reason. But if you can go out there, but social media can be fairly cheap. If you're posting, you can even run ads through our command system that are fairly cheap. You can do 5 days for $25 to generate leads. So there's ways you can generate leads cheaper, but generally you're going to want to keep to a prospecting side. And prospecting is low cost, high labor. So that's going to be social posting, not ads, right? That's going to be open houses, cold calling, door knocking, home buyer events, networking, joining clubs, those things are joining PTAs and things like that. Those are going to be low cost prospecting ways. That means it takes a lot of your time, but it doesn't cost a whole bunch of money, right? So, and I put out a lot of prospecting methods out there, but what I recommend, and you should have did this when you onboarded with the coaching, they should have done a personal analysis of you. You should have, I've coached a long time, and most personalities default to one side or another. I like talking to people. I like relationships. I want to be face to face. I'm everyone's friend. I like that. I like networking. Going to parties makes me happy. All right. If that is the case, you're going to be more about your database. You're going to be more about open houses. You're going to be more about networking and joining clubs, right? That's how you're going to generate leads and talking to people. If you're more about like, I don't care, John, give me 100 people and you say one's a good buyer and I'll call all 100 and figure out who the one is, and that doesn't bother you, you're on the other side. And generally those people are, when you go, if I put you in a room with people and you had to work the room, that you would be tired. It would take energy for you to work that room at a high level. If you come out of that room, you're like, oh my gosh, I need a drink. That was horrible, right? I did it good. I put all this energy out. I had energy and I talked to everyone, but it tires you to do that. Then you're probably more like a phone caller, dialer, door knocker. You're more like that kind of agent because you want to minimize the amount of energy you put out. Because it will drain you. So I want you to think internally, reflect on that, right? So even if we're talking prospecting, you need to think about what methods for you make the most sense for your personality. Because I can tell you what, I'm not a door knocker. I actually have there was a time on my team, I made my team, I'm like, we need more leads, we need more listings. We're all going to door knock, and we're going to door knock the Thomas. And we went out and we did it. We did a whole plan and we had the things and we door knocked the Thomas. We were like hardcore. I had like five agents out there. We're just door knocking and we were doing well. But man, summer came and Sacramento summer. And I was like, whoa, I'm sweating. Even in the morning you're sweating, And I don't know about you. I like my air conditioning, that's who I am. Don't get me wrong. Don't harsh me for it, but that's what I like. And I realized quickly that, and we were getting less consistent with our walking, and it started being less, and we started making excuses about things. And I realized, and I was too, and I realized that door knocking is not that weather, the heat, the cold, I'm not going to do it. That is something that grinds me too hard. It makes me want to quit, right? So it's not my personality. So I changed my whole business literally to a personality. Like we do open houses, we do family events, we talk to people. Not that we don't call people, we call people a lot, but it's really relationship based, ask referrals. Now 90% of my team's business is referrals, literally people in our database either doing business or referring us to someone, right? And so you want to think about how you want to structure your business and think about your personality. What makes it, where do you bend? And you generally bend in one of the two ways, right? So, and generally I found that analogy of if we're in the team meeting room and it's a mixer and they're all potential buyers and sellers in there, would you get energy? And when you end that, you're like, man, that was freaking awesome. I'm super excited. Or we're at the last, like, I need a glass. That was a lot of work. Think about where you show up, right? And then you're going to go toward lead generation. That was a lot of energy. You're going to go more toward calls, door knocking, stuff that's going to be more methodical, consistent, internet leads, social media leads. Those are going to be more where you're like, give me 50, I'll call 50, I'll find 2, right? You know, and then if you're a networker, you're going to be like, one of my high successes is I joined the PTA for my son's school, and by year 2, I was the president, and I was getting teacher leads, I was getting parent leads, and I was networking literally. I was doing the stuff, but they all knew I was an agent, and they knew I was helping teachers, and they saw me helping parents, and you know, and it all worked. And so then I started getting leads that way, and that's just, you know, I like that. I like helping, I like giving, you know, those sort of things, and so that helped me on that level. So if you guys don't mind, I know you're unmuted. Where do you think you guys lie? So who a little participation? Where do you guys lie? So who says they're I'm a networker lover or I'm a grinder? Where do you want to say?
I'm a
John, I
networker.
think I can do.
What?
Networker. Sorry.
Networker? Defect networker? Who else?
I'm
Oh,
a grinder.
I
Networker.
can do.
The heat in the summer, I will switch.
Okay, so you're going to be a networker. You're going to be database.
I'll work on that.
Yeah. So think about where you are. There's no right or wrong. I have teams that do a very high level and they grind their internet leads and cold calls and they do great businesses. And I have agents that do great networking and they have great business. So just don't think there's one right or there was one wrong way. Just think whatever I do, I have to talk to a lot of people. So if I'm a networker, you got to get systematic with open houses. If I'm a networker, I got to be intentional of joining groups and nonprofits that fit my passions, right? You need to think about how I get outside of those, and those are all prospecting. So you want to start your stuff with prospecting. Everyone clear? Sorry, we talked a lot about that. I want you to make sure you identify with where you are and that your prospecting lines up with your thing. And once you identify your prospecting, then get good at that. Don't go wider, get good at that. I tell people, don't go wide on your lead gen. Don't do open houses, internet leads, database, door knocking, cold calls. That's how you get not good. If you want to get the best agents, get good at one thing. And if you walk around our office and see our teams, you can see, I can point to that team. That team does this lead generation type well. This team does this lead generation type well. This team does this lead generation type well. And you will see they will take on an identity that's a team leader's identity about how they lead gen, right? And they don't go wide. What they do is they get very good at that, right? And they do it methodically over and over and over again. I know it's not sexy. And the hard part about real estate is it's the great part about real estate, universal opportunity for success. I have seen old, young, pretty, ugly, woman, man, black, white, brown. I don't care, whatever ethnicity, foreign language you started with, I don't care. I've seen everyone be successful, whatever background. I grew up poor, I don't care. If you say, John, I'm too much of a disadvantage, I can point you to another agent that is a multi-million-dollar agent and say they have the same story as you and look just like you. And I will tell you and I'll show you. And the reason is it doesn't matter. It's equal opportunity. But the hard part about it, it's about lead gen and it's about consistency of lead gen. And until you can get that habit, that's the key to universal success in real estate. And the hard part is it's not sexy. It's methodical. It's like you want to do it so much that you pick up the phone and it's easy, or you go to that open house and it's easy, and to the point where you're starting to get bored. That's what you want to get to. Then success will show up. And I know it sounds stupid, backwards, and all this stuff, but you can go talk to any of the high team members and I'll arrange a meeting for you and they will say the same damn thing. I guarantee it. So Okay, we're
It
moving on.
might be on the side. I just got it.
What's that?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
I thought
Oh, sorry. Okay. You want to approach people, connect, and ask. That is really good. Approach, connect, and ask. If you're not approaching people, if you're not actively thinking about how do I get in front of people or talk to people, then you are on step 1 of your real estate career. Basically, you need to think about how I'm going to approach people, which you just talked about. So you need to figure out how you're going to approach people, how you're going to connect people. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? You're going to have business cards. How are you going to do it? And then this is the third part, and this is the hardest part for most people because they think they're going to be salesy. You need to ask for the business. And I know that sounds stupid salesy, but if you don't ask, people won't give you leads. They won't do it. You may get some, don't get me wrong, you'll get some. If you're good at lead generation, approaching and connecting, you'll get some, but your business will be a fourth of what it should be if you just ask. What does ask means? Hey, have you thought about buying or selling a home in 2023? That's an ask, right? Or I'd love to help you with your real estate needs, right? But, so, does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Ahas with any of that section? Anything we learned in the last, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that was an aha for anyone? You learned nothing? Nothing in this 15 minutes? I was just blowing smoke up your butt, so that's what I'll do. Okay. Well, this is participation. This class will be better.
John, I like how you said that good agents focus on one lead generating tactic for the most part.
Yeah.
It's something I learned a little early on, but I like to hear that confirmed, that it's good to really focus on one type of a thing you could get good at.
Yeah. You should always be good at your database, your sphere. But then what you do to bring strangers into your world, you should start with one and work that well. And then when you got that well, then you can go to a second. But I can guarantee you, big teams have no more than 3 that they do really well. And that's after years and years of work and doing it, right? Like they do it that way. So, good job. Okay, prospecting and marketing. Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting marketing. Pretty simple. Gary Keller says that. He was a billionaire, and if he's saying it, yeah, you should probably do it. So, all right, let's talk about catching leads. All right, see the chart in front of you? Likelihood to move. So everyone, on average, moves about every 7 to 10 years. That's just stats. Okay. All right, and if you look at the chart, that wave is saying how likely are they to move, and when you hit the top of that chart, that wave, they are moving. They are selling or buying. They're selling and buying or just buying, right? They're making them move, and we know 17 years. And when they're at the bottom of the chart is when they're not going to move. So think about this: when someone buys a home, the day after they buy the home, where are they on the chart?
Hi.
At the bottom, yeah. Why? Because you just bought a home. I'm not going to buy another. I just bought this home. This is great. We did it. So immediately someone buys a home, they move to the bottom. And then we know 7 to 10 years later, things change, circumstances happen, blah, 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 blah. They move up the ladder, and they move again. Now, if you want a lot, this is how you capture it. So many new agents, just like yourself, think I need to find someone who wants to buy or sell a house right now. They're pre-approvable, they're able, willing, and ready, and they go. And I know you're hunting for those. I know you are. Those are gonna be fewer and far between. I'm gonna say this. So my team lead generates at a high level. Of the leads we pick up this month, or April, or say March, the leads we pick up this month that actually moved forward and did real estate deal with us, or got moving and shopping and hiding offers that we captured in March and did in March, was probably 2 or 3, not a whole bunch. And we do a lot of lead gen. But we probably had 6 to 8 buyers. We had 4 listings and 6 to 8 buyers going, because one was 3 months ago that popped, and one was 6 months ago that popped, and one was a year ago that finally popped, right? And does that make sense? And so how you build a pipeline is you need to start changing your thinking about how do I capture leads. You want to capture people that are a year out. You want to capture people that are 9 months out. You want to, and anyone who walks in your door, even if it's a looky-loo, I'm doing an open house and the neighbor comes in, I'm just a neighbor, I don't want to sign in, I just want to see the house. And I start having a car, okay, that's fine. Hey, where do you live? Oh, I live down the street. When are you gonna move? You're like, oh, I love this neighborhood. I'm never moving. I just want to check things out. Fantastic. If you were gonna move, what would likely have to happen and where would that be? They're like, oh, well, I got my kids. They're in, junior high, and we love the neighborhood. We love the high school. We're not gonna move till that. So if your kids graduate in 6 years, would you think about moving? Oh, well, maybe then. Okay. That's fine by me. I'm gonna put you in my sphere and I'm gonna love you for 6 years. That's fine by me, right? And so when you catch leads, just note there is a spectrum. There's a spectrum from the timeline, and you need to start thinking like people. Just realize everyone you talk to is likely an eventual seller or buyer. It's just a matter of time. That's literally a matter of time. And if all of you plan to have a long career in real estate, guess what? Then you should keep them. As you get closer to that move bar right at the top of the move, you see the move bar where, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but if you get top to that move bar, just note that's where Zillow lives. That's where Realtor.com lives. That's where a lot of our high level teams live, not all the way, but partially. So just think, if you are only marketing and only pushing and only prospecting for that perfect right now buyer or seller, you are competing with billions and billions of dollars from other companies trying to do the same damn thing. Make sense? The problem is if you're going to compete with Zillow and Realtor.com and all these other companies, you're probably going to lose. No offense. I even have a pretty big budget and I would lose. Does that make sense? That's real simple. Why? Because they're spending billions of dollars on this, right? And so if you think you're going to market and advertise to do this, you're going to have a hard time doing it. So what you want to focus on is people who are a month, 2 months, 3 months out. They haven't clicked buttons yet. They haven't got trapped in that internet web yet, right? That lead web yet. But once you got them with you, they don't end up on Zillow. Or even if they do and get calls by other agents, say, I already have an agent. Right? They won't talk to them, right? You want to create relationships. And ideally you want to create, now you will find people who are immediate. Don't get me wrong. If you do open houses or you advertise the 20% down dream program, things like that, you will get them. You will find some leads. Don't worry, you will get immediate business if you do it well. But most of the people you're going to talk to are 3 months, 6 months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year out. And what you need to get good at is understanding all those are leads. It's just a matter of timing. Everyone cool? You understand?
Hey, John. So
Yeah.
when you find someone who's like a few months out or maybe a year out from looking to buy or sell, like I know we have the 36 touch program to keep in touch with those types of people, but do you have like a preferred method of keeping them fresh or having yourself be fresh in their mind, I should say?
Yeah, we do on our team, we do a 36 touch program. And we do it 2 levels. We have a sort of VIP level where some of our touches are mail pieces that go out to them. Mail gets a little more expensive. So we keep that VIP level pretty tight. But we do put them on a 36 touch with no mail, only emails, texts, phone calls, and social media, right? So we do have a 36 touch that's non-mail, so it's cheaper. That we put if they were saying I'm a year away, we'll put them on that, right? So I don't want to see how real they are. I'm not willing to spend the money to make good because they're not immediate. But if there's someone big, I will put them. I leave my team to make that call. But say you meet someone, they don't want to sell for a year, but they're owner of a gym, a fitness gym. You'd probably be a good person. Like recently we had someone who owns he has 2 locations, but he runs a jujitsu, fight, gym. Good to know. Knows lots of people, has good influence with a lot of people, right? Makes sense. If I get him a home, he's going to be super happy and tell all his people that he just moved into his home. He's going to have a party. Does that make sense? So if you find someone who has a lot of influence, I call these bucket people. When you talk to them, they have a bucket of people. So sometimes I'll talk to someone and you're fortunate in your life. And this is where you need to be open to all leads. That's why think wider, think wider, think everyone is a potential could change my business, right? And if you understand where people have buckets of business, and I might move them directly to 36 touch, even if I don't, they're thinking about a year or two later. I might move them just because I want to create that relationship. Just remember, if they don't even buy or sell from you, they can still refer to you. They can still go to your events. They can still like you as a real estate agent and be your friend. They don't have to buy or sell from you, right? So some of our best referrals are people we're working on their credit for, and they just give us lead after lead after lead, and we still haven't fixed their credit or, got them into contract yet. But they give you lead because you're helping them and they like you, right? So think wider. So thank you, Taylor, for saying that. But just understand, like, even the looky-loos who come into my open houses, if they're looking at other people's houses, they love their house. And so the one question I ask them all the time is, oh, how's your home compared to this one? And you know what they're going to say? My home is awesome. I have this and this, and this house doesn't this, and I got a better kitchen, and I got granite countertops, I have better flooring. And I'm like, man, that sounds awesome. I'm a real estate agent, and one of the things I really do is I love seeing great houses. Hey, you know what? My open house is done at 2. I need to pick up some signs. Can I stop by your house? I'd love to see. I know you're not selling. I just like looking at good houses and owners who take pride in their house. And they'd be like, oh yeah, stop by. Love to see you. I get in the door. I get their contact information. I know their address now, 36 touch. If they're going to open houses and talking to a lot of people, guess what? They're going to talk to a lot of neighbors. They're going to refer. And now I got in their house. Now I'm their friend. I'm inviting to events. I don't care if they don't sell in 6 years. They're going to give me referrals, goddammit. Right? So, make sense? It's because when I talk to people, I think of everyone as a lead. It's just a matter of time. Right? Right? Okay. Cool. Ha-has. We're good to go? All right. Prospecting versus marketing. I told you marketing prospecting. We talked about this. Money intensive, passive, long-term results, time intensive, proactive, immediate results. I think we're all looking for immediate results, are we not? So you head toward the prospecting down on the thing, not the money intensive. I don't want you to come tell me, John, I just signed up for Zillow. I'm paying them $1,000 a month for leads. I will slap you. Okay. So don't tell me that. So please don't tell me, because I will slap you. And I'm going to be like, one, that's great. You're going to get leads, but you're not skilled enough to convert those leads. That makes sense? Because I guarantee if they're clicking on Zillow, they're clicking other listings, and they're clicking on realtor.com, and they're clicking out over here, and they're getting called by 20 different agents. And unless you're better than the other 20, you're not going to win. Right? So, and I'm sure you have. How many of here has gotten calls from vendors promising you leads? No. If you answer those spam calls, potential spam, you will learn there's people calling you that says, I have 4 sellers looking in your market, and they try to sell you all this money. I'm here to tell you it's all bull. It's all bull. They're all saying this, they're all clicking, it's one person clicking 20 buttons, they're all selling the same person. Right? Not saying you can't have success with it, but it does take a system, model, and labor to make those things work. So stick to prospecting, cut your chops there. And then when you have money, then go to marketing. All right. Woo. This is prospecting, face-to-face, listings without agency, for sale by owners, expired listings, circle prospecting. We call this cold calling, circle by neighborhoods, apartment columns, recently sold listings, recently listed listings, community outreach, charity, volunteer work, key relationships, corporations, builders, banks, third-party data companies, investors, teaching and speaking opportunities, meals, door-to-door canvassing, network events, booth, kiosks, walk-ins. High labor, low cost. Everyone see this? You can see the different ways, community, relationships, talk to people to, I'm just going to go out and grind it. FSBOs, for sale by owners, take a lot of work. They don't believe you have any worth. Otherwise, they would have listed with an agent. So they discount the worth of an agent. So if you're going to talk to FSBOs, and ironically, over 70% of FSBOs end up selling. They start as a FSBO, but they end up selling with an agent. So they do convert to listings. They do. But you're going to have to overcome their view of realtors, not just by talking, but by showing up better than what they experienced in the past to where they trust you. And that's a hard level because they already have a negative trust of you. So expired listings, great way to get listings. I mean, some other listing agent did a poor job, either poor marketing or usually price. They agreed to a price that was not the real price for the home, and they expire, and you can make calls on those. Great way to get listings. Those are going to be difficult too. The sellers are upset. Their home didn't sell like they wanted. It's messed up their plans, and they're usually bitter at the previous agent about it, and they might take that anger out on whoever's calling. So those tend to be intense conversations, but you can be successful at that. Circle prospecting is direct calling, but it's direct calling with a reason. So for example, neighborhoods, you can say, I'm a neighborhood expert in Natomas Park. I'm the neighborhood Natomas Park expert, and I'm just calling you because I live and work in this community and play, and my kids go to school in this community, and I just want to help you. Is there anything you need help with on, your real estate needs? That would be an example of using your neighborhood connections to talk to people cold. Apartment complexes. I'm calling you. Did you know there's a dream program 20% down to buy? Do you know the rent you're probably paying in the Natomas area is probably, you could probably buy a starter home for the same amount of money you're paying your rent. How's that sound to you? Make sense? Recently sold. You can do recently sold or recently listed properties as a way to prospect. So often we tell them, hey, we just listed your neighbor's property at 123 Main Street. We're just calling around to see if you have any people that want to buy the neighborhood, or if you were thinking about selling yourself, and you use your clout as a listing agent in that neighborhood or to sell a home. If you don't have any listings, it's okay. Go search a MetroList, look at our brokerage and see who sold recently in the neighborhood you want to work. And say, hey, we just sold in the house on 123 Main Street, because you did. You're part of the brokerage. If you say we, good to go. Make sense? So you can use that same line even if you don't have listings, and if you recently listed property or recently sold a property, as a way to make those. It makes it just, instead of it just a straight ask, it adds a little lead into that conversation because they're cold call. Community outwork, charity, volunteer work. I have an agent who I've been coaching for a long time. She came in when I was PC coach, like Amy is to you guys back in the day. And she came in and she was trying to grind, and it wasn't to her personality. And she was really frustrated. She came to me, John, was like, I'm pulling out my hair. I really want to make this work. What do I need to do? So I sat her down and says, what do you do now? She's like, I do art. She's in Davis. There's an artery it's a art gallery that hosts local artists, right? I said, great, you're a volunteer there, you host it. Okay, great. And she's like, I run a co-op. I rent this place and I rent space, and other artists rent space for me. And I also teach art classes at the local high school. So okay. I said, and I said, okay. I want you to stop doing that stuff. I want everyone, all the art people I want you to talk to them and let them know you're a real estate as well, an artist. All your people in your co-op, every people at the artery carry, because I want you to go to art shows, and with your art, I want you to put your real estate stuff on the art table too. Right? And are there any art charities? Actually, she wasn't doing the school part. That's when she started volunteering and doing the school volunteer wise to get more people. And so she started doing all that. She's every year $15 million producer in Davis now, and it's mostly just through art and charities and knowing networking around art. So just know it doesn't have to happen. It can happen through networking, knowing people, right? So key relationships, we talk about this, bucket people, corporations, builders, banks, investors, third-party data companies, people that have access or can provide you a lot of leads. Teaching and speaking opportunities. This is what she did. She started teaching at the school. When I was in the PTA, I went to the union, the teachers union. I had a few teachers that were friendly with me and loyal to me. I said, who's your union chief? So I went and talked to them. I met with them and I said, hey, I'd like to do a program with you. I'd like to speak to because they had quarterly meetings with the teachers. So I'd like to go to quarterly meeting. I'll sponsor it. I'll pay for lunch. But I want to talk to you about what the market is like and how they can take advantage of. There are some teacher loans they could take advantage of. And not only that, I will, if a teacher sells with me through a union, and we can make a formal union program, just make it a program for anyone teacher that joins the union, If they refer me to them, if they refer me to them, I will help them buy or sell a home. I will credit them. I will pay for their appraisal, and home inspection was about $1,000 off, so they don't have to pay too. And I'll donate $500 to your charity. They had a charity to help teachers in trouble, so I said, I'll donate every time I close one of these. I'll donate $500 to your charity. And they were like, sold. I got in front and talked, and now I have a lot of teachers in my thing, right? Does that make sense? So look for people for teaching and speaking opportunities, right? Think outside the box, right? So meals, oh my gosh. If you want to really network, just go have lunch with a lot of people. Think about who key relationships are and go have lunch with them. And when you have that conversation, make it friendly, but you want to say this. Hey, I was thinking, because you have a lot of influence, I want to see how we can make things a win-win. I want to help you, and I'm hoping by helping you, I can also win too. What are the problems in your business? What are you facing that's struggling, and how do I help you? You start with that conversation, people start thinking, you know. So when I was talking to the teachers union, part of their thing is like, yeah, part of our thing is we want to offer more benefits to our client, our teachers. We want to do better things. So part of it is like, hey, look, if I do this home buying thing with you, I give them talking about teachers loans, special teachers loans, and I talk to them about you know, home buying or selling, and I'm giving discounts to do it, and I'm donating to your charity. Does that not sound like a great benefit? They're like, dude, that would be an awesome benefit. And we talked to every new teacher that came in, we talked to them about it, right? You know, say so, like, that's beautiful. So think about outside the box, those things. Door-to-door canvassing, that's door knocking, network events, booths and kiosks, and walk-ins. Walk-ins are people who just walk into the office. Right now, you want to get your production top 20. If we have walk-ins in the office, they go to our ALC members because they're contributing. So work hard to get in that top 20%, because you will start getting walk-in leads from us. All right. Any questions on prospecting? No? Marketing. Offline advertising, radio, TV, newspapers, personal vehicles. You can put a sticker on your vehicle. You can wrap your vehicle. Bus stops, benches, magazine, billboards, yellow pages, grocery cards, moving online advertising, pay-per-click advertising. This should be like Google, sponsored ads. SEO, which is website. You're spending money to drive people to your website. Social media, portals. Portals are pay-per-click. They go to a portal designed to convert them, right? It'd be like, hey, sign up get started on that dream 20% down loan program now. Click here, and you have a one-page website. They go, they click it, they put in their information, hits your lender, the lender's calling them. That'd be an example of a portal, right? Broadcast, radio segments, TV shows, live social media blogs, direct mail campaigns, promotional items, public relations, putting out their sponsorship of Bobby and Apton's team just recently sponsored a little league team in Natomas, right? Or was it a little team soccer? Little league or soccer? I forget. I think it was a little league. Sponsoring teams, right? So as I went down this list, you can see all of these take a lot of money. So please don't start with this until you have some money. Unless you have some personal wealth that you built up from a prior career or something, fine. Okay, be smart about it. But if you don't, then I would say stick to the prospecting. Any questions on prospecting and marketing? And I throw these out there to you because you really need to think about, like, you know, on the process, you need to really think about what are you willing to do and do at a high level. And if you can't find one of those you're willing to do a high level, you should probably reconsider a real estate career. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying this business is about lead generation. And all the things, the reason you joined real estate was to change your life and train the trajectory of your life and your career. And I get it. I've been there, done that. But it starts with the habit of lead generation. So, all right, we good? Sorry, preaching to the. Now you can do both. Sometimes you do prospecting and marketing together. Farming. You can geographic farm or you can demographic farm. What does that mean? Geographic farm, I pick a neighborhood. You're going to want to touch it once a month at least. You want to try to do open houses at that. In every open house you do, you're going to try to do that in your geographic farm. So you put signs out. You're going to want to really, what we call, become the mayor of that neighborhood. You know what community events are happening. You know what the best restaurants are to eat are. You know the quality of the schools. You know, everyone knows your name. You're the mayor. Make sense? That's geographic farming. Demographic farming is I'm going to work a certain niche of people. Most times you see demographic farms happen with ethnicity groups. So I am I don't know, I am Indian. I'm going to work my Indian connections. I am, you know, whatever that looks like to you. And so most demographic farms are like that, but I've seen other demographic farms. One of our biggest agents, Amethyst, a lot of her farm is LGBTQ. She's LGBTQ. So a lot of her farm is LGBTQ people. Makes sense? She sponsors those events, goes to those meetings, like those things, because that's a demographic farm for her, right? And she does geographic farm. She likes Midtown. So she does certain neighborhoods in Midtown geographically farms, but also does a demographic farm of certain type of people, right? So with affinity. Any questions on that? Okay, events, open houses, seminars, contests, client appreciation events. Here at Sac Metro, we do 2 events a year, and even if you're at Fair Oaks, you can participate too, don't worry. We do a shred day, which is coming up here shortly, and we do a trunk or treat and Halloween. These are great events to invite people to that are super easy to call. So client appreciation events, contests, seminars, you can do contests. If you have money, we did an iPad giveaway one time, and we said, you have to enter this, you have to go like our social media here, like our business page on Facebook, like our business page on Instagram, and give us a good review on Google. And every time you do that, you will get 4 entries. If you do only 1, you'll get 1, right? And so we did that, gave it away, got like 97 people, right? So to give us their information and helped our real estate on our profile as well. So you can do that. Home buyer seminars. My team does investment seminars. We focus on investors, so you can do investment seminars as well. Networking, Sphere, past clients, allied resources, agents. You should be always talking to your Sphere. You should be trying to get as many past clients as you can. Allied resources are those bucket peoples I'm talking about. Be careful. You can also get leads. I get a ton of listing leads, not a ton. A few listing leads a year from my contractor I mainly refer to. We've got listing leads from our electrician we refer to, right? So think about people that you do business with. A lot of agents do business with them, but have you ever asked them for business? Trust me. My contractor does a lot of business with a lot of agents, but he does real estate with me because he's like, John, you're the first one to ask me. And you're the first one to really help me try to buy a home. So I have loyalty to you. And he works with probably 30 agents. Makes sense? So allied resources. Agents. Did you know that a lot of Bay Area people moved to Sacramento? I think that's pretty obvious. So would it behoove you maybe to call Silicon Valley agents? Because they're probably having sell buys of people moving to Sacramento. And that they could refer you buyers, right? Did you know we get a lot of, for some reason, we're getting a lot of referrals from Seattle to here, from Las Vegas to here. That's why it's important that you go to networking events or you go to our national events and find these people, because you'll get leads, you'll get referrals. And then there's purchase leads, referral networks, advertising, clientele. That's expensive. And of course, okay. Any ahas on all that? We covered a lot there. Anyone have an idea of what they think they can do that they would like to do that was on one of those lists? This is interactive, so I will call on people. Let's see. Camellia, what are you thinking? Yeah.
I like the idea that you mentioned. Give a call to Bay Area people, Bay Area agent, and I'm gonna write it down for myself to do that. So
yeah, so
thank
like,
you
yeah,
for
maybe you move from the Bay yourself, right?
yeah.
So, yeah, friends and family that are thinking of moving. You know, hey, when you bought, who was your agent? I'd like to talk to them, right? And just talk to the person, talk to the agent, right? A lot of people said, I'm coming from the Bay Area, what do I do? I was like, talk to them. They're all thinking about moving anyways from the Bay Area for the most part to get cheaper, right? So like, you know, talk to them. There's a reason you moved. They're thinking the same thing, right? So, okay. Anyone else?
I already knew about geographic farming, but demographic farming, I hadn't really given much thought, but that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, especially if you're passionate about that demographic or group that meets
Right.
your passion in life, then it's gonna work well for you, right? So,
Yeah, and I like how you said you can mix geographic with demographic.
yeah, yeah, and it works well for example, Amethyst, because she likes the Midtown geographic, but a lot of the LGBTQ community live in Midtown, so it's a nice nexus on both levels, right? So. All right, who else? One more. Edgar, Ramon, Aguia. What are you thinking, man?
I would say probably door knocking. I've always been interested in doing that because I'm more like a face-to-face type of person.
Yeah.
So I would definitely door knock around my area. And since I do live in an apartment, I feel like it would just be perfect since everybody's just around me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Trust me, I bet everyone in the apartment complex would like to know about a 20% down, grant program, right? So, like, shoot, yeah. All right, good stuff. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna gold mine for referrals. Client referrals, always provide you a share your kitty about share market statistics, provide vetted vendor list. Okay, you need to show love to your people. Don't just call your people and say, do you want to buy or sell? Do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell? You're gonna come off as salesy. Don't do that. You want to share your app. You want to share, hey, the market's like this, rates are like this. Whenever there's a storm, we always send out to our people, hey, do you need a fence contractor to fall on fences, or do you need a tree person to clean up the trees, things like that. We send those out. We're here for you to help you on your referrals, because it's just a way to say hi. You don't have to ask them for business. You just need to say, hi. And if they call you and say, oh man, yeah, we need a tree person or tree fellow. So sorry about that. Here's our tree person. By the way, is there anyone else on your street that needs a tree, or maybe is there anyone thinking about selling or buying? You just ask them that. Now you've provided value, you ask for a referral, they'll usually reciprocate at that point, right? Ask for referrals. Reward your referrals. If someone gives you a referral, please reward them. That means send them a thank you card with a Starbucks card in it or something like that. I don't care if it's $5 or even it's just the card, even if it's not a Starbucks card, just a thank you card. Reward that behavior. You need to train your people to refer you. And it's a training, trust me. It doesn't just happen. You got to train them. Think with the handwritten down. So on my team, I send them $5 or $10 Starbucks gift card and a handwritten card, thank you, if anyone gives us a referral. If they close, then we send them another thank you card. And at that point, I give a closing gift, just as if I give a closing gift, say they refer to buyer and we close with them, the same closing gift I give to the buyer, I give to them as well. So, because you always want to reward the behavior. Trust me, some people start doing it. Actually, I'll tell you a story. When I started real estate, I was married, obviously. And my mother-in-law, she lives in North Islands. Her whole family has lived on this one street in North Islands for like ever and ever. And her house had this has the community mailbox in front of her yard, And my mother-in-law is the gossipy, wants to know everyone's business kind of woman. So she was retired. So she sat in front of her porch most of the time. And when anyone walked up to the mailbox, guess what she did? She ran out to him and tried to talk to him. All right. So she's the nose, that nosy, all those people. So for like 4 years, I was like, Mom, like, I know you view me as my son-in-law, but I'm a real estate agent. You know everything that's happening on the street. I need you to refer me. Because listings would come up and I'd be like, she's like, oh yeah, they're selling their home. I'm like, help your daughter. My income goes to our, anyways. So I've been talking to her, and finally, like 4 years later, there was a death across the street, and she knew it, and somebody came by, was emptying out the house, and she went over there and said, hey, how's it going? He's like, I'm the son. Oh, I knew your dad. He was a great guy. Sorry to hear the loss, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm from out of state. Man, he was a hoarder. I didn't realize, and he had all this stuff stuck in there. This is a pain. And she's like, oh, you should talk to my son-in-law. He's a great agent, and he has people that can just get it out for you, and he'll take care of that and just take the fee out of the commission, out at close. And she's like, really? That'd be awesome. Listing, got the listing, did it all, closed it. I was like, thank you, Mom. Went over to her house, gave her a big hug, talked with her, and I even gave her a gift card. I just gave her a gift card. And I know she liked to go to Starbucks. I just gave her a gift card. Here you go. Rewarded. Man, after that, two listings a year. Done for her. every year. Reward your people, right? So, all right. Even your mother-in-laws or father-in-laws. You guys are laughing right now. So. All right. Client referrals, agent to agent referrals. We talked about that. It's great to know other agents. Agents refer people to other agents they like. You want to put out there, I am your Sacramento, greater Sacramento agent. You should talk to Bay Area agents. You should talk to SoCal agents. You should talk to Las Vegas agents. You should talk to Seattle agents, right? All right. Agent to agent referrals, maintain, grow, manage. You got to treat your referral agents like your database. So you should, our referral agents that we maintain relationships, we 36 touch them. It's a different touch, but we 36 touch them, right? So because you want to maintain those relationships. If you go on to, and the greatness is you can go into command, you can click that little pointy person button there. And if you click that, you're going to get to the referral network. If you go to maps, you can go to the Bay Area, for example, and it will show you all the agents or even all the KW offices in the Bay Area. And it'll put a list up there of all the agents by production level, like how much production they're doing. So if you want to just be super methodical about this, you can go in there and invite them to be on your referral network right through the system. You can invite them, say, I would love to partner with you. But what I also recommend is you email them and call them and text them. And guess what? If you do this regularly every day to 5 agents, you're going to have a pretty robust referral network in no time at all. Makes sense? And you can even do worldwide referrals. I think we're in 68 countries now. So you can do Mexico, Canada, all those referrals work too. We referred someone to London actually and got a referral. So, business to business referrals. Some of you like your business referrals. So what's that mean? If you like to go talk to the restaurants, the local hardware stores, those people, the local, those people are great. We do an ice cream event on my team with what's that people, they scoop it out for you, mix it all together. I forget, I don't know.
Cold Stone.
Oh,
Cold
Cold Stone.
Stone.
Thank you, Cold Stone. Because I live in Thomas and Cold Stone's right over there. So we did a thing where we did an event Cold Stone. We just sat out, I don't know if those ones over there, we just sat out the tables out front. We said we're having an event. And I just worked with the owner and I said, hey, I'm just going to hand them our cards. They bring in a card, just give them whatever they want for that card. Here's my credit card. Just use my credit card every time you charge them, right? It's probably $300 in ice cream. But what they do is they come out and we were sitting out there checking them in and they would talk to us and we sit there with their families. Oh, how's your kids? We get the kids' names, we get all the stuff, right? So, and we did this and afterwards the owner was like, that was awesome, right? We want to do this again. And now he's like, my cousin wants to buy a home. Can you help him? Yeah, business to business, right? Hey, I would love to help your other business owners. We have a commercial department. Are you thinking about leasing other locations? Or maybe you want to buy locations, right? So business to business, right? So think outside the box. But literally you can go eat at restaurants and you can say, hey, I'm a local agent in the area. Like Taylor says, he geographic farms. He's like, I would go to a restaurant near your farm or in your farm, or that gets customers from your farm. And you want to say, hey, go there, eat, order something to eat, and say, hey, and find out when the owner's there or the manager's there. And just say, hey, I'm a local agent in the area. I farm this area. I literally drop newsletters on this area every month, and I do open houses, and I talk to a lot of people, and I live in there, and I do a lot of people in the area. I'm like, great. I would like to help drive more people to you, man. This meal is awesome. Is there something that I can put in my newsletter, like a coupon or a meal or get a drink free or something like that, that would help you generate more people to come to your restaurant? And what are they going to say? Sure. And they'll be like, hey, I'll even help pay for your printing. And then business to business referrals. Make sense? Any ahas of what I said?
As far as referrals, if you're a new agent and the person has experience and lives in the Bay, is that person gonna feel comfortable sending clients to you because you just knew you like 2 weeks old in the business or a month old?
Okay. When you call them, you don't say, I'm a brand new agent. You just say, hey, my name is John. I'm in the KW Sacramento Metro office and I service the greater Sacramento area. As you know, there's a lot of Bay Area people moving up here, and especially in our neighborhood up here in Natomas, there's a lot of Bay Area people. Great price points from the 400 to 600 range. I know you probably have people in your network that are thinking about moving. I love to be your real estate partner in the Sacramento area. Do you have anyone that you refer to in the Sacramento area regularly? And they may say no. It's like, great. I'd love to be your referral source. If I get anyone moving down there, I promise to refer those people to you in your area. Where do you work primarily? Right? Great relationship, right? Honestly, they won't check if they like you, they will refer you. They won't check your stats, right? They will just like you. Make sense?
Yes.
Remember, this is about relationships. Real estate is relationships, client-wise, agent-wise. I have gotten my deals accepted with 28 other offers, and I wasn't even close to the highest offer, and I got offers accepted because of my relationship with the listing agent. Because they trust me. They know I know how to manage my clients. They know that I will close the deal. They know that I'm trustworthy. I won't negotiate them to death. What I put out there is what we want. And that seller they were transferring. So she told me the seller just wants certainty. They want guarantees it's going to sell because they're going to move and transfer here shortly for the job. So what I gave them was certainty. I gave them a no non-contingent offer. I gave them certainty. I didn't give them the highest price, but I gave them the certainty in my offer and who I was because of my relationship. She knew she was certain. So I got the contract, right? So it's about relationships, right? Remember that. All right. Any other Haas? All right. Or sources, geographic farming. We talked a little about that. One thing you want to talk about is, okay, we're sorry, making sure we're good on time. You want to make sure you look at the stats of the neighborhood. Please look at the stats of the neighborhood. You want to see how much it turns over. Meaning, go back, you can go to MetroList. You can say, I'm going to search for sold homes, and you can make the map around it, right? Make the map and put sold homes and put 2022, January 1 to December. And you will see how many homes sold. And if you're going to say, I'm going to focus to get 3% of that this first year, if there's 10 homes sold and you're going to do 3%, that means you're going to get 3 listings. Is 3 enough for you to farm that the whole year? Does that make sense? So you need to understand what you're looking at. And part of the reason that my team and we work in the Natomas area primarily, it's not that I couldn't live in Roseville or I couldn't live in Folsom or Granite Bay or whatever, I could. But I base my team here because we tend to be an intro market and a move-up market. Does that make sense? So people this is either their second home. They live some other neighborhood and they're moving to Natomas as their second home, or it's their first home, but we're not the destination neighborhood. Generally, people who are destined end up in Roseville, Folsom, they move there generally, right? In the end, which is fine. I'm not knocking that. But what you do is you get a lot of deals that happen, a lot of sell buys, right? A lot of buyers looking here and a lot of people looking to sell, right? So I like the turnover. When I chose Natomas and I chose to work out of this office and I chose this is my home, I chose it because I like the turnover rate that happens in Natomas. And I knew they were building homes and it's near the airport, and it's near downtown. So you're always going to have that turnover, right? So make sense? Yeah. So when you look at farms, look at the numbers of the farms. It's not just about it's my neighborhood. Yeah, part of it's your neighborhood, but part of it is it's my neighborhood, but it's not enough. So I need to take this other neighborhood in, and I got to double my walk count, right? Because I need more transactions, right? Make sense?
I have a question about that. So the size of your geographical area, is that like what's a good start? I've heard some different things out there. I mean, obviously you got to expand it if you're not getting enough.
Yeah,
Start with.
I would say a good farm is 300 doors, probably to start.
Okay.
Anything above 300, 500 is going to stretch you. as a new agent, probably walking and knocking or walking and dropping, doing open houses. But you can do more. I've seen people go hardcore on this, and you can. I've had people individually do 1,000, 1,200, right? I wouldn't recommend that. That's like hardcore. You're putting the shoe leather in, kind of thing, right? But you know, I'd say a good level is 300 to 500 homes. It's probably, if you're just dropping, you can probably do 100 homes in an hour. If you're knocking, you can probably do 50 homes in an hour. So think about the time commitment that you want to do. You'll want to touch your people once a month at least. That is, so think about how much time I'm willing to dedicate toward that. And if you're a slow walker, cut that number down. If the neighborhood you're looking at has wide lots, adjust that number. Another reason I like Natomas, tight lots, easy to go door to door. Trust me. And then once we had this listing out in Fair Oaks, oh my God. No, it was, yeah, Fair Oaks. And everything's a half-acre lot. Man, like, it was like, and it was hilly, right? So it was like 20 doors an hour, and you're like tired and sweaty, right? So think about where your neighborhood is, and think about those walk rates, how fast you can do them, and how much time you're willing to dedicate toward it, right? And then look at the numbers of sales in that neighborhood that happen. Target a certain amount of sales you're trying to get, and is that enough money for you to worth it to do that work? And if it's not, you need to up the neighborhood, up the size, right? And incrementally up the size. If I took this neighborhood that adds 150 more doors, that takes this much more time. But this neighborhood is a lower price neighborhood, so it turns over more. So I get more sales, right? So you want to look at that. So make sense?
Yeah. Thanks for the
Be
specifics.
very strategic on the numbers when geographic farming you want to do, but don't let that hold you up from farming. Just touch them every day. If you're scared, just drop on their doors and do it a level. We have an advanced farming class coming up with Nick. Go to that class if you're thinking about geographic farming. He does it at a high level. We do it at a high level. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a list of all the owners and non-owner occupied owners. If we do it at a high level, you should mail monthly the unoccupied, the people who are landlords, but own the property but are not renting it out. So you get those listings. Two, the system, and if you track, if someone knock on their door, what I do is I knock on their door. They say they were Bob. They said they were the owner. That's right, Bob, owner. And when I'm walking out, I just put the address. So I see it on their cell, 1427 Main Street. I write 1427 Main, right? And I go on to the next house. At the end of the day, I was like, okay, 14 Bob. I pull up the owner records. Yeah, it's Robert and Susan. Okay, I got the right people, right? Now they're in my farm. Now I know them. Now every time I walk to that door, Bob, right? Bob and Susan. That makes sense? And that's how you start moving, becoming the mayor, right? So, all right.
All right.
And that advanced farming guy, he has also a service that will rate the likelihood that someone would list a home. We call it big data. People's years in the house, age, buying habits, those sort of things. They track all this data, and with that data, you can have predictability of someone getting, that 7 to 10 year mark we talked about. They track that, and they are able to predict homes that are more likely to sell. So they'll give you a list and say, these are the 20 most homes in your farm that are likely to sell. Those are the doors you knock. Right?
Wow.
So they can help you with that. All right, good. GR farming, we talked about conversation contact notes. Okay, let's go forward. Events and seminars. Oh, hold on, let me go back. Events and seminars, you can rent our training room. You can do, some people do home bar seminars, go to events, do booths. We've done booths at events. In my neighborhood, we have a neighborhood association. They do 2 events a year. My team has a booth at the event, so all the things, right? So. Home can turn leads are every grocery store, coffee shop, repair shop, dentist, everywhere. I'm gonna tell you a little story about grocery store. When I was a new agent, I realized that there's a lot of leads everywhere. So whenever, and I don't know if you know, but grocery lines are crazy right now wherever you are. They're like long. So we'd be standing in the grocery line, and my wife's with me, and we're on the weekend. And I would start telling a story to my wife. I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you about this. And I make it about a transaction, a client, lead gen, something about real estate. And I was like, just whatever story. It doesn't have to be super funny or whatever. I just tell them a story. And if you don't know me, I'm a kind of loud guy, so you know, I project well. I'm talking. And next thing you know, people are like, hey, you're a real estate agent? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. He's like, isn't the market crazy? I'm like, it's always crazy. It's like, it's a good time to sell or buy. I'm like, well, it depends on your situation. It's always a good time to sell and buy depending on your situation. Where do you live? Like, oh, I live right over there in Topaz Park. Oh, what model are you in? What are you at? He's like, oh, I'm over there. Oh, I'm 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I was like, oh man, I just saw a home sold at 675. He's like, oh, I know, I saw that home. Wasn't that crazy? I was like, I know. When are you thinking about selling? Oh, our kids are in the elementary school. We're not, you know, I just have conversations. I was like, you know what? Can I just update you on houses that sell in your neighborhood every month? Just, you know, and she's like, sure. I go, give me your card. And I was like, oh man, I don't have my cards with me, but here, what's your phone number? I'll just get you on my list. It'll just send you the homes that are selling once a month, just so you can see where prices are and see if you ever want to sell in the future. Oh, great. I got their name, I got the cell, done, right? Grocery store. I do that all the time. I did it all the time. I don't do it much. I did it all the time. And my wife would hate me for it. So she now, if I ever talk real estate in the grocery line, she rolls her eyes at me and doesn't want to talk to me, right? So she knows I'm fishing for leads, right? So there's leads everywhere, trust me. So you can be a secret agent and not tell people you're an agent, or you can put yourself out there and you'll be amazed what happens, all right? Any ahas from all this? Come on, there's some ahas out there. Who hasn't talked? Who hasn't spoken? Jason, what are you thinking? Oh, Jason, yeah.
Great information, man. Great information to utilize.
You can see I'm throwing out a bunch of stuff out there. What seems sticky to you?
Yeah.
You don't have to stick to everything, just see what's sticky to you, right?
So going off of what you were saying, just how to create content, or just get a conversation going and letting people know. What I tend to do when I'm in public, I'll have a shirt on or I have a name tag on, letting people know what's what. And it seems to be an eye catcher, especially the name tag, especially if you're in a convenience store or you're somewhere. They think for some reason when they see a name tag, they think you work there. So that normally works. And then also having something funky on my shirt, letting people know that I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah. That's why I wear Keller Williams shirts.
To me.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you know how many times my wife calls me and says, are you home yet? I'm like, I'm about to get in the car. She's like, can you pick up some tomatoes? We're having tacos tonight, right? And okay. I go by store and I stand in the damn long line and I talk to my shirt and I find whoever's friendly. You know the people, you know people who are friendly because they're like trying to talk to everybody, you know, and I go talk to them. And then we start having a conversation. And because they like talking to people, it starts getting loud and blah, blah, blah. And I start talking about real estate and boom, boom, boom. Next thing you're having like consultations in the middle of your line waiting for the checkout, right? So I've had checkers start talking to me about real estate because we're talking the line, right? So,
yes, definitely. Yes.
All right. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be a
secret agent. Yeah.
Don't be a secret agent. Advertise you. Be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
Be proud of your career. Be proud of your
career.
Yeah. You help people achieve the greatest joy and purchase in their life that changes families, creates stability, right? Don't underestimate that, the impact it has on people and families. Don't underestimate that. It is a valuable service and you do good at it. All right. Capture every lead. You need to make sure you are systemized on your lead follow-up. If you have a database, if we sync your database into your database in Command and it shows a low score, anything less than like 60 or 70%, your database sucks. You need to start making calls and getting more information. Okay. Literally, my team has a goal. Every quarter we meet together to talk about our goals, and one of our goals is what are we going to increase our database health score to? And so we always try to move it at least a few points every quarter up by improving. Looking at people we have poor information on and calling those people and trying to work it, right? Does that make sense? Work it better. Possible. All right. Lead generation plan. Connect with the sphere, build your feeder desk, capture leads from open house, build community social media through capture leads, execute a referral strategy, choose a geographic farm to focus door knocking, consider events and seminars. This would be like a lead generation plan. I will say I will differ in this. I don't think it should be 7. It should be more like 3. Okay. Don't overwhelm yourself by going wide. Pick the ones that work for you and work those at a level. Okay? And when I mean work them, if you say, I want to get leads from social media, you can't be like posting one thing a week. It doesn't work like that, right? You got to be posting videos. You got to be posting videos of you walking through a home. And if you say, I don't have any clients I don't want to do, then go preview a home and walk through it and talk to someone, talk about it and video it, right? Go to a new home and walk one of the new home, the model homes and talk about it, right? Like you got to execute a high level, right? Get content out that people like, right? So, all right. Ahas, we're gonna move forward. How has your thinking changed? What new ideas or mindsets were new for you? How has your thinking changed? Anyone? Someone? Yelena, how are you doing? Avery, how's it going? What do you think?
I'm doing well, thank you. I guess I did think I had to go a little wider. So I was a little nervous of all the little stuff I had to put in place. So I'm, pumped for what you were saying, narrow it down and get it down and then expand.
Yeah, go one next. You should be doing one database, your people, and then one other lead gen technique initially. That's what you start with. Get good at that. Right? Okay. All right. Anything else? Ahas? Any other ahas out there?
I have a question.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
So I know you want to share your KW app, but how do you go about asking if they want your KW app? You know what I mean?
We
Like,
do it
what's the
on my
best way
team.
to
We do it during open houses,
Okay.
and we also do it during well, I do it at the grocery store and things like that. So whenever you're meeting with people.
Okay.
So
What about
a lot of times at the open house, some of my agents do this. They're country. They're like, "Oh, sorry, we ran out of flyers." For that. No, for that. Here, let me text you our app, and you text them that listing, the listing you're open housing, right, from your app to them, and say, just click on that, open that up. That's our listing, right? And so
Okay.
you capture that. So it's a good way. Does that make sense? So if we do a buyer consult, one of the first things we do is at the consult, we have them download our app. And it says, this is a great way to communicate us, because most people, like 80% of people, search for homes on their phone or tablet, right? They use apps. They don't go on their computer and search. They go that way, right? So you want to be where they is. And you can say, look, use my app. We have them open it up. We have them look, search for properties here. If you like one, just push request a showing and it will hit us automatically. If you really like a house, just put in there, really like this one, pronto. We will be on it like white on rice, right? And it'll notify you. And that way, once your clients have got on it, then they'll continue to use it. And then the best part is they get off Zillow, they get off Realtor.com, they get off those other things that will get other agents trying to call them and take them from you. You get them in your technology, right? So when I say systemize it, systemize it at open houses, systemize it at your buyer consult, systemize it with your database. One of our touches in our database, our quarterly call databases, is, hey, have you opened up our app we sent you? That's one of our calls, right? I think you'll like it. Just to try to, and most people don't, but every time we do it, we get 7% more, right? And you just move it slowly, right? Systemize systems and models. All right. Success system. How many of you doing this? How many are doing 10 contact? Ariel, are you on there? Ariel, are you here? Right, Ariel's here. Can you get on? Can Ariel talk? Is she on? I want to talk about Ariel. She's in our club. So Ariel started as a new agent. She's a single mom. She was hustling. She's like, I gotta make this work. We're gonna hustle. And she has a dream of getting out of the 9-to-5 and making real estate work for her. And so much of a dream, she even quit her 9-to-5 to do this. So that's how committed she is.
Say, hey, on that 10 contacts added, meaning 10 new people a day, or that's just out of your phone?
10 a day, 10 conversations a day, 10
Jeez.
conversations a day, 10 contacts. The 10 people you talk to, you should get their address so you can send them a handwritten note. And you should be adding 10 people to your database. That means not your database, but like what I mean is like, even if you sink your whole people in there, you should be like getting real with them, like getting all their information, having a conversation, getting real, right? Make sense? So Ariel did this. She's like, I want success. She just made sure she talked to 10 people a day. She's been about 2 months into this role, and she already has 2 pending contracts, and she's shopping with 4 buyers right now.
Oh, wow. Killing it.
Good.
And
So
all
you
she did
mentioned-
was all she was it?
Just the conversations you said, as soon as you have the conversation with them, they go in the system and then you write the handwritten note.
Yeah, but you can't write a handwritten note unless you get their address.
Right. Okay.
So that's why one of my things is after I talked to someone at the grocery store, I was like, where do you live?
But it's an immediate thing. You touch in with them right away after the conversation.
Yeah, if I start having a good conversation with them, I automatically get their address and then I sit down and write a handwritten note. I'm a handwritten note guy. Trust me. If you can mail something that's handwritten, man, I just love talking to you. Great conversation. When I door knock, and we door knock still a little bit, not too much, but when we door knock, if I talk to someone, I take their address down and I write them a handwritten note with my business card in.
Thank you.
Get to 10 contacts. 10 contacts a day, I guarantee in this market, that means 50 or 60 contacts a week. You will have an appointment a week. I guarantee, even if you're a blind squirrel and you're horrible at talking to people, you will get a lead. I guarantee it. Please talk to 50 or 60. And if I tell you had to talk to 10 people a day, how long before you run out of people to talk to in your phone? Then you start thinking about, how am I going to do this? Open houses? You got to start thinking about lead gen ways to get more people. Make sense? We're feeling it. 10 is the magic number. I can tell you right now on the club, we're having great success on our accountability club. Any of you on it, but we are figuring out it's about, depending on the lead source, about 30 to 40 contacts to get 1 appointment. That's about the average on our team, on the whole, amongst about 15 agents reporting numbers. If you're not hitting the 30 to 40 a week, you are not going to get an appointment. You may get lucky here and there, but you're going to have a very inconsistent business. I'll tell you that. At 30 to 40, and don't think of it as 30 to 40, just think I need to talk to 10 people a day. That's all. And I don't care if you're part-time. Even if you're part-time, you can talk to damn well 10 people a day. Talk to 5 people at work. Talk to 10 people at work, for all God's sakes, right? So, talk to 10 people a day. And if you just get that in your mind and stick with it, you are going to be high success. You will be moving to this career. You will quit your other job. Eventually, it will all happen for you. I guarantee this. And that's why I tell you, success is stupid simple, but it's hard. Because you have to stick to a metric that's your own habit and systems and stick to that metric, and it's your commitment to that. So, hi.
This might be a stupid question.
Yeah, go ahead. There's no stupid questions.
It's a good question. But how would you go about asking for someone's address? Would be a good
You're a
way
real
to bring
estate
that
agent.
up.
You're a real estate agent. So because you're a real estate, you're passionate about houses and homes. Right? I hope so. You're in the real estate business. So when you're talking to someone, you need to show some energy. You need to show some passion for real estate and home designs and people who take pride in their homes and great neighborhoods. You need to be passionate about that. If you're not, and you start asking, hey, where do you live? It's going to sound like you're being salesy. But if you ask, hey, man, yeah, I'm having a great time in real estate. I just got my license. I love houses. I love seeing people's houses. I love great neighborhoods. I love people, how they take care of their houses, how they make their houses their own way. Man, where do you live? What neighborhood do you live in? And it just asks questions and the conversation will turn there. Remember, but it takes energy. It takes passion. It takes, like, you care about real estate. You care about them. You care about celebrating their home and their neighborhood and what they want, right? Like, so I'm going to give you a little trick. 80% to 90% of conversion in real estate is about energy. It honestly is. It's about energy. It's about how you show up. And I convert most people because I am more passionate about their goals in real estate than they are themselves. And when I'm more passionate about their goals in real estate than they are themselves, they're like, wow, John's the person that I need to talk to because he's going to carry me across the finish line. He's going to put me on his back and he's going to wheel me across that finish line. And that's what I need, right? And how do I show them that I'm more passionate about their goals? I ask about their family. I ask about their lifestyle. I ask about where they're going, what their dreams are, where would they like to live, where would they like to have their kids in school at. I ask them all those questions because I'm passionate about making sure they have the best life possible. Right? Home is
Thank
family. And that's why I said, get passionate about it, because the more you can understand that and embrace that, the more when you talk to people, it's going to come across like you care, right? You care about them, and you care about their family, and you care about their life and their success. And then when you ask those questions, it becomes natural, and you say, hey man, where you live? What's your address? It's just a natural flow of the conversation. You'll see it's just will natural happen. If you start asking them about them, trust me, I have not met one person, and I've talked to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I have not met one person that isn't happy to talk about themselves. I've not met one. And you know what? All you have to do is ask questions about them and their lives, and they will spill the beans all over the freaking place. And if you are happy and you are engaged about what they are saying, they're all yours. Close. Get their address. Get their address. That's all it's about. If you're going to go to a listing appointment and you feel like you're going to flub it up and you don't know it well and you're not scared about your comps and all that stuff, I get it. Go with energy. You'll still convert. Literally at open houses. How many have you done open houses? How many have you done open houses? None of you? How many of you like?
I did a couple.
How many of you like putting out signs?
John, I've done a couple too.
Okay. How many of you enjoy the putting out signs part?
I do not.
No one does. I hate it too. I still hate it. I've been in real estate for 15 years. I still hate it. Right? All right. After I found when I went to the open house, because especially in the summer when I'm sweating now, and I have to change shirts because I'm put on new deodorant because I'm so sweating when I put out my signs, it would put me in a bad mood. And when I go to the open house, I'm like, blah, 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 height, heat, complain, and I wouldn't convert anybody, right? So you know what I did? I'm like, screw this. I'm going to change shirts. I'm going to do it earlier so I can sit in my car with my air conditioner blasting because I want to cool down, right? And I put a soundtrack together, you know, on my phone, and I do the Eminem one, you know, one opportunity. I like it. I'm old school, so Jason can hang with me.
Lose yourself.
What? Yeah, lose yourself. Yeah, lose yourself, right? And I get there and I listen to that mug and I'm singing it in the car, hardcore. People walking by like, what the hell is happening, right? Like, and I sing it and it just drives me, you know, and I sing it and I'm like, this is your one opportunity. This open house is going to change my career forever. Someone is going to walk in this door it's going to create a relationship with me that is going to change my career forever. And it's this one opportunity. And I get it. Now, you don't have to be one opportunity. I get it. But what I did was I needed to change my energy level prior to the open house. And I was so deliberate about it, I changed it. So when someone walked in that door, I'm like, oh my God, this is the one opportunity. And I walked in and they're not, and they're like, whatever, blah, blah, I don't get a good conversation. And I'd be like, oh, the next one walking, that's the opportunity. This is the one. And I go after it, right? And you have to trick yourself. You have to do your energy. And I know because 70%, 80% of it, 90% is energy. If you care, if you're passionate, if you take your energy and you ask good questions about them and make it about them, you will convert. If you are talking a lot and you're selling them and you're telling them how great you are or what you do or how you're going to help them, you're salesy. I'll tell you that right now. You're salesy. They don't care about you. They won't care about you until you know they know you care about them. They will not care about them. We're clear? I'm trying to make it happy for you. Honestly, wouldn't it be great if you had conversations where you didn't come off salesy and you converted? And all you have to do is talk about them? I'll tell you, you know what the beauty of real estate is? That's what I say, it's relationships. Help them and they will want to work with you. Literally that simple. Literally that simple. Sorry. So Avery, to answer your question all the way around is get purposeful with your questions you ask, that it will naturally go to address. It will naturally go to those contact information.
And be passionate, right?
Be passionate.
Okay.
Why,
Thank you.
yeah. So that's why my wife hates the story, because when I'm talking in the grocery line, I'm passionate about my story. Like, and it could be a totally dumb story. Like, you can't believe it. You know, I was showing this home the other day in the Thomas Park, and they had these beautiful redwoods in the back, and it was like peaceful and quiet. And you know, a squirrel jumped from one tree to the next tree, and I was like, whoa. And my kids were like, my clients were like super happy, and they totally like the home because of squirrels. Right? It's a stupid story. But I'm passionately saying it. And I like it because I'm like, man, that's awesome. Kids are happy, right? Who wouldn't want? You know what I'm saying? So like, you want to know when I had real success in real estate, where it really got real, is when I decided I'm a real estate agent. I sell homes. I help people achieve their goals and dreams in life. And that's who I am. And that's what I do. And if you become an ambassador of that, you will have as many clients as you want. You got to become an ambassador of that. So, understand? Cool. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're not going to do a call. I engage in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relation with me. Contribution, right? Contribution. And if you struggle with coming from contribution, talk to your coach. Go to script practice. Go to club. We'll talk about how to come from contribution. Right? Role play. Sorry, I was late. We don't have time for role play, but that's okay. It's hard to do on Zoom anyways. But we're gonna role play. Hold up. Blah, blah, blah. Celebrate successes. Hold on. We gotta go forward. Okay. We're gonna go to the next one. Hold on 1 second. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. Did it stop sharing? I'll start. Oh no. Oh, stop sharing. Hold on 1 second. Let me get back to it. Come on, where'd it go? Who's feeling it right now? Who has real estate passion right now? Come on. I feel a little bit. We were a graveyard to start, but we're like moving up to like, I don't know, like a park with no people in it, right? But we're getting there. So.
I have passion. I have
You do have passion, Coley. I had a meeting and I had a recruiting meeting with Coley, and we talked for like, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, and she was passionate, right? Passionate. Find your passion. I love
I'm
it.
passionate. We're gonna execute it.
Exactly.
Passionate, yes.
Is this not the greatest career in the world? Okay. What other career you can stay at home? I see you all at home and close a deal and make $12,000. And all you have to do is talk to people and show homes. I mean, that's a pretty fabulous career. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about you. That makes me pretty excited. That makes me pretty, I don't know, I'm pretty excited about that. So that's the life I want. Okay. Oh. Which side? Okay, share screen. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, good. Now we're on to, hold on, I went too far on this one. Keep every lead. You need to keep your leads. So once you get them, the number one way agents fail in this business is they go for the low-hanging fruit. They talk to someone. And this is an example. If you go to the open house, you get 12 people through, and one of them you're talking to, and they seem really real, and you're like, yes, and you're working them and talking to them and trying to get them in. and you dropped the other 11 that signed in and you had information, didn't have a good conversation, when there's probably 2 or 3 buyers sitting in those other 11 and you neglect them. So you need to keep every lead. And then they go somewhere else, or they show up at my team's open house and we convert them and you didn't. I can tell you, you don't know how many people we convert where we talk to them, and this is the 4th open house they've been that day. Literally, they're going open house to open house to open house, and we're the one that converts them because the other agents sucked at keeping them. Didn't want to convert. Okay, so what's that? I got to stick it. Course overview. We're going to keep every lead. I'm going to talk about follow-up leads. So let's talk about what is lead follow-up. Oh, sorry. Someone had a question? No. Okay.
Oh, no, sorry.
How to lead follow-up, post lead follow-up, recaps on the HOS daily systems. We're on this one. So what is lead follow-up? We talked about this. We understand the mindset you need, right, to be successful. All right. Lead life of a lead. Possible business, probable business, profitable business. All right. Now about this. Okay. If you're not first or second in their mind, you probably won't get business. I don't know if you were at the team meeting where we showed the stats. Basically, like, it's in the 80% range. 80% of people use the agent that they first talked to. Literally, 80%. The first thing they have to do. That's why when I told you, anyone who comes in, even if they're a neighbor, I try to get in their house because I want to be the first agent that talks to them, even if it's 3 years later. I want to be the first because the first wins. So, how do you do possible problem? Okay, so you're not first, so you need to be first. Hold on. Oh, I need back. Man, that was kind of late, but I'll talk about it. Okay. Right now in this market, possible is I'm talking to them. They're a little looky-loos. They say they're far away. I would say they're more than 6 months out. They think they're 6 months to a year or longer out from doing any business. Right? You work with them. I would say you talk to those people once a month. Okay. Anyone sticks out. If they say, hey, I talked to you, I'm thinking about buying. But it's probably not going to be for another year, 6 months, 9 months, later in the year, whatever. You need to talk to them once a month. And your goal when you talk to them is to move them to the next section. How do I move them quicker? Right? So if their main issue of why they want to wait is interest rates, then when you talk to them or you send them an email or you send them a text, it should be only about drops in interest rates or down payment assistance programs or doing seller credits to pay down the interest rates. Does it make sense? You want to move them quicker. Overcome their objection to movement quicker. Probable business is I am talking to them, but they're likely 3 to 6 months out. Well, I even say even less than 30 days out. 30 days to 6 months, somewhere around there. I would say probable business. So I'm talking to them, they're happy talking to me. But there's still something holding them up or timing or something. And finally, profitable businesses, I got it. They're with me. They're doing actions to make a purchase or list happen. They're setting an appointment with me. They're trying to get pre-approved. They're showing homes with me. That would be profitable. Right? We use on my team ABC, but to track our leads, you should have a spreadsheet where people who are A's, they are actively your clients and they're actively looking to buy a home in the next 30 days. Buy or sell. Okay. If you make this spreadsheet now, if all of you make this spreadsheet and there is 0 people on your A's, you're not doing enough lead gen. Just put it up. No judgment on that. If I made you make all a spreadsheet right now with ABCs, and if you had no one, I said, who is your client and actively looking to buy or sell or get pre-approved in the next 30 days, and there's no one on there, you are not doing enough lead generation. 2, the B level needs to be, like I said, after that 30 days to about 6 months. If they're not actively talking to you, or you're not actively talking to them regularly, you are failing on that relationship. I would say probably once a week, once a month at worst. those people. Okay. Let me talk to these. One thing I need you to know in this market is going to be very important that you know that there's 3 important criteria: ready, able, and willing. Ready, able, and willing. What does that mean? They have to be ready, A, willing to move in this market. They got to have a compelling reason to move, motivating reason, and able. They can get qualified. They have the money. Okay. So if someone tries to get pre-approved and they need to work on their credit, they're not ready, able, and willing, they should not be on your A list. Maybe someone's pre-approved. Someone is willing to buy, but they don't like this market. They're waiting because they don't like the market. B. Make sense? They don't show up as an A unless they're ready, willing, and able. Got it? If you judge people objectively, judge your clients or your leads objectively with that criteria, and make those 3 criteria for A's, then you know if there's no people under that criteria in your A's, you are not lead generating enough. That is as simple as I can say it. If you lack clients or lack business, it's because you're not doing the 10 contacts and you're not putting A's. You're not creating A clients. All right. All right, we're going to go forward. How to lead follow-up, 19 to connect, 1 to cement, 36 to convert. So, okay, we talked 19. Quarterly phone call, 12 touches, 2 and 1 touch. If you go into your smart plans and you look at the Keller Williams Realty smart plans, there will be a 19 connect in there. These are leads that maybe you had a contact at the open house. You talk to them. But these are good ones if you're introducing, if they're just introduction to you, but you're not having a conversation. It's not that well, but you got their contact information. This would be a good one for like someone you picked up at the grocery store, right? Those sort of leads. You can do that. Well, what you do is one cement. When I say how, so you want to take your leads and turn them into your contacts, your 36 touch, your people that are real, your real people, right? One cement is one high value touch. Usually they come to an event. They schedule an appointment and have an appointment with you. They have some future entry. They invite you into their house. That's why I try to get into people's houses after open houses who are neighbors, because it's a high value touch. It's a high value touch. Make sense? 1 to cement. Once you have a high value touch, you have an understanding and relationship, you move them to 36 touch. There's a lot of quietness on there. This is called a system. This is how you take a lead that you're working so hard, you're putting out all those damn signs and standing there for 3 hours talking to people, and how you take them from there to your people. Make sense? These smart plans are in Command Smart Plans. So you can put your people in there. Take your open house leads, put them in there, 19 touch. Make sense? Okay. Fortune is in the follow-up. I forget what that. Most Americans will say no to an appointment ask 6 to 8 times before they'll say yes. That's the average. So if you do 1 touch, ask them for an appointment at the open house, and they say no, and you just leave them be, then my team will take them. I'm just gonna be honest, because if we touch them, we're gonna touch them 6, 8 more times, and we're gonna convert them. So most agents lose their money is because they're trying to do 1 touch, and if it doesn't work, they're gone. You need to get to 6 to 8 touches, and that's why we do all this. Right? Make sense? Okay. All right. Leads, 4 touches, 12 monthly email newsletters, all online. You just put on the Neighborhood Nurture, 2 promotional. You don't have to do the mail, but you can 2 touches can be inviting them to our shred day and our e-waste day. I mean, our shred e-waste day and our trunk or treat, right? So you can just make 2 touches, just invitations to those events. And you can say one touch annual party, you can just don't use the party, just use our events if you don't want to host a party. But that'll be it. What? Oh. Considering for your lead follow-up on what are my strengths when working for you, how can I adapt touches 19 to connect to represent me? If you look at the Connect app and you don't like what it says and the messages and emails it says, then go in and change them to your voice, what you want to say, but don't make it without an ask. Okay. What it seems I have, and you want to look for some reason I might have for content. What are the some touches do before and after the phone call? You want to create reasons to call that is not about real estate, such as Shred and E-Waste Day, which is coming up. You can invite, take the flyer, put your damn logo, put your damn name and contact information there, and mail it out, email it out, and text it to your whole database. And then you can call them, and you would say, hey, Pauline, did you get my Shred E-Waste Day flyer? They're like, oh yeah, I did. Are you going to be stopping by? You know, can't that weekend my kids have a t-ball tournament? I was like, oh, no problem. Hey man, I want to help. Is there anything you want to shred or e-waste? Like, oh, I have a old TV that I want to get rid of. Hey, can I stop by sometime this week and pick it up? I'll leave it there for you. And now I have a great touch. One strong cement. Go out to their house. They have to meet me there. They have to open up the garage. They got to talk to me about the thing. And then at the end, I'd be like, I put in the, hey, one last thing I forgot to ask you is, are you thinking about buying or selling? Do you know anyone who's thinking about buying or selling in real estate? I really appreciate that help if you could give me that help, right? You just put their damn TV in your car to take it to e-waste for them. They're going to help you, right? Makes sense? Okay. How am I using conversations to let the person know I'm in real estate, how to contact me, and how to refer to business to me? If you are passionate about real estate, it will come out in the conversation. I don't care. You need to be passionate about real estate. If you're thinking about how to talk about real estate and bring it into the conversation, then you are not passionate enough about real estate. You should ooze real estate. You should be like Jason. It should be a name badge on you, and you should be wearing a color web shirt, and it should be looking like you're proud and you're advertising yourself because that's what you do. But how can I use conversations? Talk about yourself and what you're happy about. Talk about getting your license recently. Talk about how excited you are about something that happened at our office, or some interaction you have, or you had a great open house, or just because they're gonna, if you talk about them enough, they're gonna ask you, well, how are you doing? And what you're gonna say is like, oh, did you see I got my real estate license? They're like, oh yeah, that's awesome, man, congrats. Yeah, man, I was doing this open house. It was crazy. With these interest rates, you think like no one would come, and I did this open house, and I got like 13 groups to it. He'd be like, really? Yeah, man, spring is crazy and rates are coming down. It's awesome. I just brought real estate in. It's not about him. It's about my experiences. Make sense? That's how, if you want to bring real estate in, that's how it happens. Ask questions about them, and eventually they're going to ask you, well, how are you doing? And you bring up your business, your life in real estate, right? And how excited you are. All right. When is the best for my business time block to lead follow up? When is the best time to lead to lead follow up? Anyone know? Has anyone read the one thing?
The next day?
Yeah, the next day. Yes, exactly. And in the morning, your willpower to make those phone calls is best in the morning. Has anyone went and had lunch out and then they're dragging the rest of the afternoon? Because they went and had Mexican food and they're just like, right? I know you guys don't laugh at me. How many of you ever said, I'm going to get the hardest thing I need to do today in the afternoon, and it never happens, right? If you want to have success if you want to have high level of success and make these phone calls and do your lead follow-up, do it in the damn morning. Why do you think? Literally, my team, we have a huddle at 9:15. We script practice a little, and we all get on calls. We do it in the morning. Why? Because that's when everyone has the most willpower. And no offense, no one wants to have a listing appointment with you at 9:30 in the morning. No one does, right? So, all right. How much time should I take out? Should I take it out to reach out a lead? What will happen to hold myself accountable? What do I need to make sure that this happens? How much time should it take to reach out to a lead? As long as we've taken a long time. So what will I do to hold myself accountable? Come to club. If you are not doing 10 contacts a week, you are failing and you need to come to club. I'm not trying to be, I'm passionate about your success. And I can tell you, if you are scared to pick up the phone and make 10 contacts, you are failing. If you are scared to go on the grocery store and talk to people, you are failing. If you are scared to do an open house and talk to 10 people, you are failing. I'm happy to have a one-on-one with you to help you with those fears. But sometimes you have to get over yourself.
John, I have to go to another meeting at
Oh.
3.
Thank you, Kelly.
Is that okay?
Yep, go ahead. I'll see you in a sec. Sorry, I went a little over. We'll go faster here.
Bye.
This is your 19 cut plan. So going to put, if you click on the if you go into the appointment and click on that documents, this document will be in there too. So you can look at these documents too. This is how a 19 touch should look like. Birthday cards, marketing reports. You're not going to be able to lose their card unless you have their birthday, things like that. So stalk people on Facebook, get their birthday, right? So okay. Value propositions, focus on value, personal commissions, stats and data. This is how you show focus and how you show contribution. Don't come to them with sales, talk to them about how you can help them, talking about personal commission about how's the family, how was that T-ball tournament with your son, right? That sort of stuff, right? Statistics, here's where the market goes. Lead follow-up communication, potential lead sources, call outs, past clients, purchase leads, clients, agent website, traditional marketing, social media marketing, open house, all lead sources. Statements, why are you thinking about buying or selling? Tell me more. What will you do, you and your family? See all these questions? These are about them. Tell me more. Go deeper. If you're having a conversation and it's kind of stalling out, say, tell me more. Or say, hey, if that happened, what would it do for your family? Ask those questions. It'll go deeper. Don't go wider, go deeper. Okay, ahas. Anyone post follow-up? We're not going to just convert them. You need, when you do the 19-point plan, once you have a two-way conversation with them, take them out of 19-point, put them into 36 touch. Okay? Got it? You want to create more context. Cement. Sorry. All right, we're here. Success system, 10 contacts. We'll talk about cementing tomorrow. Any ahas? We're here at the end. One thing that changed your outlook on real estate today? What changed your mind thinking about real estate today? Anyone? Come on.
Just talk to everyone wherever you go.
Talk to everyone wherever you go. I love it. Yes. Awesome. Who else?
Yeah, John, definitely what you said about having a high energy. I think it's really easy sometimes to get tired and not be motivated and let that show through the way you speak, but it is important to talk like you're enthusiastic.
Yeah. And act like you're enthusiastic. Act like it. And trust me, you start acting like it, you'll start feeling it. Almost people think like things need to happen to me for me to feel enthusiastic. It's actually the opposite around. It's actually, you got to start acting enthusiastic and then you'll start feeling enthusiastic and the enthusiastic things will happen around you. All right. Who else?
Spotify Premium free. Tap the banner to learn more.
What? Anyone else? Who else? Come on. Amelia, Jason, Deepak.
Counting on businesses to put your name out there.
Yeah.
Working with businesses.
Working with businesses. Yeah. Go to businesses. They want people too. What else? Deepak, what do you got?
Reach out to other agents like from the Bay Area that are moving
Yeah.
here, or even
Agent
SoCal.
referrals. Yeah. Remember, these are everywhere. Even other agents. Jason, what do you got?
But to piggyback off the referral thing, also joining these different groups on Facebook. There's agents all over the place, all over in different states. That's a great platform to network with other agents in different states.
Yeah. All right. Amelia, how you doing? What do you got? Oh, you're muted.
I think everyone mentioned everything, so there is nothing left for me. Yeah.
Last one, Edgar. What do you got? What do you got, man? What are you thinking? What do you think you learned? Number one thing.
Probably just going out there and kind of letting the world know that I'm out there ready to work with them.
Yeah. Step one, let everyone know you're an agent, right?
Consistency plays a big part with all this, as far as with our actions. Just being consistent with everything on a day-to-day basis. and holding yourself accountable for your actions, and not trying to overload yourself doing everything all in one day. Maybe one thing, you spend 3-4 hours on it,
Yeah.
and then do something different the next day.
Yeah.
3-4 hours or whatever, so forth. So
Excellent. I love it. I love it all. So think about, we're talking about energy and showing up with energy. Told you energy is best in the morning, but think about that. How many of you eat poorly, don't exercise? Those things affect your energy. Sleep affects your energy. So one of the things I do personally, and as you grow into real estate, you'll see this. The agents that have high success, they're very much about their personal health. A lot of them have morning exercise habits. They have good eating habits because they're very concerned about maintaining their energy level throughout the day. Like, how do you show up for lead gen in the morning and do well and have energy on there? And then that same thing, and in the afternoon and evening, you have listing appointments where you have to show up and have and buyer appointments. You have to show up just as much energy. Those things matter. And if you're going to rely on Red Bulls and energy drinks to give you energy, I'm going to tell you that's a shortcut solution that will undermine your health long term. So, not saying that it can't help here and there, but if you're relying on that to generate your energy, you're going to wreck your body long term. I'm just going to say that right now. So get smart about your stuff. And some of you are young and you have energy, like Edgar, you're young, you just have energy flowing out through all over the place. So no big deal. But eventually, some of us older people, you'll realize energy doesn't come all the way around. And even you'll realize in the afternoon you'll get tired and things like that. So just note that. All right. Everyone, I appreciate your time. Sorry I was late. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you. I love you guys. If you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. So peace out.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.